I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it. Japan is compromised. Japan is not the bastion of free speech and artistic expression when it comes to anime, movies, video games, whatever it is that you enjoy from that culture. That they have been infested with the woke mind virus. They have been infested with DEI hiring, with ESG culture, and now Bandai Namco has come out and outright confirmed that not only are they going all in on ESG and DEI, but they're doing it because of influence from the West. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and yes, a crushing blow, but one that we saw coming nonetheless, or at least if you got any semblance of, wisdom up in your noggin, you saw it coming. Bandai Namco all in on DEI after learning about it from Western media. I realized that not being represented may nullify a person's existence, even to the point of discrimination. This is so heartbreaking, because anyone with half a brain knows it's not true. And you want to know how you should know it's not true, all you higher-ups over there at Bandai Namco? Because you made a game called Pacman. A game that was beloved the world over, every country, every race, every religion, every creed, ever since at least the 80s, and goes on to be a household name to this day, going so far as to be in Super Smash Brothers, the elite of the elite when it comes to fighting game crossovers at this point. He is recognized the world over, he is loved the world over, and nobody cares whether they identify with Pac-Man, because he is a little yellow circle that eats ghosts and pebbles. And yet now you want to claim that not being able to identify with a character nullifies a person's existence? You are out your goddamn mind. We're going to get in this article before we do. Hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel who covers nerdy news every day. And strap in, folks. This one's gonna hurt. A Bandai Namco rep has confirmed that after learning about the creativity killing concept from various Western sources, Japan-based video game developer is fully dedicated to promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion within their games. Now, I've spoken at length about Bandai Namco, Capcom, Sega, maybe not Koei Tecmo, either way, and a couple of, Konami, and a couple of others that were all in on the ESG DEI train. Yes, Bandai Namco has been one that's been on my radar for a while. I've talked about it in previous videos, but this one is going to be dedicated to them because we now actually have insiders, people that work at Bandai Namco, giving press releases with what they actually said. We've got full-on quotes now, not just things that are marketed on their website and then what we can see, in the games they've been producing. This turn for the developer of Tekken, Super Robot Wars, and Pac-Man franchises was revealed courtesy of a presentation given by a representative from their quality assurance department. Oh, good old QA. QA out there like, hey, don't worry, America, we understand what you want. We see that you're rejecting anything and everything Western when it comes to your own culture. Yeah, the Hollywood movies that you used to oh so love, they're burning to the ground. The Western-made video games, wow, flop after flop after flop after flop. But yeah, sure, we're going to go ahead and take cues that we're going to put the stuff that's super Western, intrinsically Western, into our Eastern games, because that's what you want, despite the fact that even looking at things with a bare minimum of a financial glance would prove otherwise. Don't we just love money? Quality Assurance Department Okuma Mirai, of course it's a woman named Okuma, during the 2024 entry of the annual Computer Entertainment Developers Conference, an annual trade show in which members of the East Asian video game industry come together to discuss the practical aspects of their respective business operations. Well, let me tell you, we should cut out the word practical there, because there is literally nothing practical about the use of DEI in your hiring process. Titled Aiming to be Global in Expression as well, DEI and Initiatives, the panel, per a recap provided by Japanese video game news outlet 4Gamer and machine translated by DeepL. Gotta give mad shout out, mad love, mad respect for the AI translators, because that means we know this is what's actually being said. There ain't a chance that this is all lost in translation by some wokey American who just wants to make everyone cope and seethe and fear that they're going woke. No. This is DeepL. This is AI translation. This is a cold-hearted machine. This is the same type of software that is now translating manga with a 98 to 99% accuracy, by the way. I just want to throw that out there, and I love it. Because now we can't even say, well, it's someone in the West. No, this is coming from Japan now, guys. They are lost. saw Mirai begin by confirming that this supposed reason for the company's turn to DEI was a desire to broaden the scope of our content and expose it to a wider variety of game players. How has that worked out for your buddies over at Square Enix, Forspoken? Anyone? I'm just saying, you can literally look at the failures of your partners in crime over there in the East and be like, oh, they fucked up, we're not doing that. But you're so infected. Are you that submissive? Are the Japanese people just a naturally submissive people? Do they see what's going on in the West and be like, oh, we need to be more like America because they do right and they better than us. Like, I don't imagine that's how the Japs work. Yet for whatever reason, we see Bandai Namco acting like they're the whipped dogs to the Americans. To this end, the QA rep admitted that in order to expand their operations, they must take into consideration the taste of their prospective audiences, and what she had learned from her overseas partners was that DEI was one of, if not the biggest hot button issue for Western players. Homie, you're right, it is the biggest hot button issue. But not in the way you think. It's the biggest hot button issue because we are outright rejecting it. Look at the sales numbers for Concord and Dustborn. Like, it's not hard to figure out. It's a hot button issue because the Western industry is trying to force it down the throats of the consumers, the gamers, the paying customers, the fans. And we're rejecting it, and now you're seeing the Western video game industry crumble before your very slanted eyes. How can you not learn from this? Curiously, Miura then put forth her working definition of DEI, which described as a state in which diverse individuals are respected and can demonstrate their abilities in a fair environment under fair conditions. Which is very flowery and nice, but it's word salad that doesn't mean anything, whether it be in Japanese or in English, nor is that actually what DEI is. So just want to clear that up. With this in mind, Bandai Namco rep then argued that while representation and diversity are not legally mandated in Western media productions, they kind of are. They are legally mandated. Here's why they're legally mandated. No, there's no law on the books that says you must include a black, gay, tranny in every video game. You will not get the grant money. You will not get the investment money if you don't include this stuff. So, yeah, it may as well be legally mandated because if you want to actually get your project funded, then you've got to follow these guidelines regardless of whether, again, I guess you could be super based and fund everything yourself and have a small development team of 3 people and make your game take 5 years to come out. That's an option, but that's not an option the vast majority of individuals are going to take. So yeah, let's just call it is what it is. It is legally mandated, but it's legally mandated through some loopholes and tomfuckery. The concepts must still be given proper weight when developing titles for release outside of Asia because their inclusion, no pun intended, would make a given game more attractive to said audience. Then explain to me why sales have been going down as games have gotten more diverse. And by more diverse, I mean they've gotten more diverse by force. They've gotten more unnaturally diverse. We are seeing a clear trajectory, correlation, causation. Game sales are down, and it's not just because the economy is bad, because in times of a bad economy, luxury spending goes up. We should actually be seeing more money being spent on video games. And to be fair, we are, but we're seeing them from games from the East. What you guys were already doing, the thing you were doing that was fucking working. When we see Black Myth Wukong sell a gajillion fucking copies, when we see the West simp for Stellar Blade as a game, as a concept, as a political movement, the whole nine, when we see the Street Fighter SNK fighting collection, the Street Fighter Versus collection, coming, remake coming, and then we see that it's being censored only in the West, and we freak out about it because we want what you, the Japanese, are getting. Like, I'm a fucking nobody. I'm not some head of some giant conglomeration, and I understand this. What the fuck are they paying you 2 gajillion yen for if you can't figure it out, you stupid Asian twat? In support of her claim, Miria cited an unspecified study from analytics firm Newzoo that found a little over half of British and American respondents considered the concept of DEI to be generically important, though to what or who the survey didn't specify. Also, I'm genuinely curious, who did they survey? Also, it's important to half the people. Guess what? That means it's not important to the other half. So now you're just picking and choosing. Hey, what half do we want to make happy? At this point, we're going to alienate half our customer base either way. So we're going to have to choose one side. The side that doesn't care about DEI, the side that does. Because the survey says 50%, half and half. I would go with the side that has been with you your whole lives, the ones that are like, hey, we grew up paying you money as fans, we've continued to give you money, we are not going to continue to give you money if you change what you were doing, because what you were doing initially is what we liked about you. Also, that version will save you money, because you won't have to hire these bullshit-ass consultation companies like GamerX, like Black Girl Gamers, like Sweet Baby Inc., the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But no, you've got to make both the financially illiterate decision and the decision that goes against what your actual fans would request of you, because your actual fans have been buying your games for years before you pretended you gave a shit about this stuff. It is necessary to consider the most important factors in the content, she said. Interestingly, Miura further noted that DEI was particularly important to Western players because according to the same Newzoo survey, which again is unsourced, they tend to project themselves onto a given video game character far more than their Eastern counterparts. But that doesn't mean we're doing it based on fucking skin color. I projected myself on a Sonic the Hedgehog and Spyro the goddamn Dragon. Believe it or not, I am not a little furry blue animated hedgehog that can run at the speed of sound, nor am I a snarky purple fire-breathing dragon with a best friend that's a dragonfly. My best friend eats dragonflies. The fact of the matter is, yes, we as Westerners do tend to impart ourselves into characters, possibly more than Asians, honestly. Yeah, I would be willing to bet that's true. But it's not skin deep. It's based on the character, who they are inside, what we can actually glean from what makes them them that we can relate to. Not surface level skin deep bullshit. And for the people that do, you know, have ties to the skin deep shit, fuck them. They're losers. They can't, they're so racist regardless of what race they are. If they're only identifying with the skin color, black, white, Cuban, Asian, whatever the fuck it may be, then they're the racist because they can only see through this skin deep level, and they want to identify with characters based on something that simplistic, then they're not going to be intelligent enough to understand your games anyway. God damn it, Miura next recalled their experience with DEI began during the development of Blue Protocol, during which a player complained that they did not feel represented due to the game's original lack of black hairstyles and its character creator. I bet, considering this is an Asian game, there was a whole fuck ton of Asian hairstyles. I guarantee you also that Whitey wasn't the one complaining, so maybe you should just look at these complainers, do what MiHoYo did and said, hey, remember the game's fiction, tell them to shut the fuck up, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Guess what? They probably won't buy it, but you'll get a whole lot of people who will buy it purely for sticking to your guns and being like, oh, dude, I like the way they handle their business. Because guess what? Ever since MiHoYo and the Hoyoverse told all these woke activists to go fucking suck it, sales have gone through the roof. Ever since Game Science said no comment and refuse to acknowledge these woke political pundits that moonlight as journalists that pretend to be games journalists, the sales went through the roof. The people were cheering for them and the industry hated it. But the people that actually pay money for this shit loved it. It is not a difficult concept. There is much more to this article, but I've droned on and on. You can read it for yourselves. Bounding into Comics, they do great work. I would highly recommend going and checking it out. But I feel like we're living in goddamn Looney Tune world because so much of this stuff is so simple. Again, I'm not a CEO. I don't run a business. Okay, well, I sort of run a business, but I'm not a CEO of a multinational conglomeration on the Fortune 500 list. And my dumbass pea brain can understand this. Do you know what I do with my life? I make YouTube videos, I scroll through Twitter, I go to the mall, I hang out with friends, I eat pizza, and I play video games. And that's a regular day in the week, day in the life, week in the life, whatever, of your boy Leon here. Why am I understanding this fucking better than you? Jesus Christ, I thought you Asians were known for being good with money, good with math. There's the stereotypical joke of the Asian businessman. Now, granted, you're a woman, so it kind of makes sense that you're this retarded, because whatever plot has befallen here in America with women that we're seeing that is insufferable, clearly even that has bled over into the East. My God, I think it's just a woman thing. You want to say I'm a sexist? Go for it. I kind of am. You want to know what made me a sexist? You did, women. You did this. You can only blame men so much before you got to realize maybe we're part of the problem. I gotta stop here. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. So yes, by all means, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know on X. You can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the video game industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon. And become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course get involved with over 80 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought. So that's up your alley. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.